Just a little disclaimer, this is not meant to offend or bash anyone, but raise your hand if you're majoring in computer science or engineering, or if you're taking a computer science course. See how it's mainly males? As a child, and even now, I am told that the STEM field is for males, and people often ask me why I'm going to that field. And some people praise me for it. I'm often told, oh, that's such a hard field to go into, or wow, that's a lot of hard math. Are you sure you can handle it? But when a male says they're a STEM major, it is just accepted. But when a female says they're a STEM major, people are shocked and say these condescending things like, why can't girls be STEM majors? Is it because we don't look like them? So I look like one now. Colleges also boast about how they have reached equality in their STEM schools with 50% males and 50% females. Do you know how many information sessions I've been to where they showed this statistic? Here are examples from USC, Cornell, Carnegie Mellon, and Columbia. You would hope that colleges would admit the same amount of females and the same amount of males, but nope, they didn't before, and now they're proving to the public that they are accepting people who are qualified no matter the gender. But shouldn't that be the norm though? But it's not, and it still isn't, despite all of society's efforts to make STEM more accessible to females. Females in STEM are still being oppressed and thought of as less than. Although many of us know about the gender gap, which has lessened now due to encouraging girls to enter into STEM field, have you ever thought about why this gap exists? Why is it that women make up only 28% of the workforce in STEM? And of this 28%, here are the amount of women in each of the different fields. Women often face barriers when trying to enter the STEM field due to the fact that it is a male-dominated field, stereotypes, biases, and a lack of female role models. In the show Good Trouble, Mariana, a woman in STEM, has this idea for an app. She pitches it to her team. She's the only girl on her team, so they all tell her that it's a bad idea. So they shut her down. But when Josh, a supervisor, walks into the room, the team leader, Alex, tells Josh the idea. Josh loves it and says the CEO will love it too. But even though Mariana was the one who came up with the idea, she got no credit for it. Males in the industry don't like to listen to women. And this is also shown in the show when they had a big round table where everyone pitches an idea they have for the company. Whenever a woman would try to talk, a male would talk over them as if what they were saying was unimportant. But some of the guys would listen and then regurgitate the idea, and people would love it. How is that fair? It's not really, in my opinion, but whatever. There was also this one time I was in a group full of guys, and this one guy proceeds to ask everyone else the question they had trouble on except for me. I was the only girl in my group, so understandable. But now, contrary to popular belief, I'm not a genius, nor do I claim to be one. I don't know everything, so I'm not saying that I knew the answer to this question. I'm just saying you can't ask everyone else the question except for me. Women in STEM have to prove their competence over and over again for them to be taken seriously. If a male makes a mistake, people just brush it off and say, you'll learn from it, you'll grow from it. But if a woman makes a mistake, it's the end of the world. Women have to be on their A game all of the time in order to be seen as competent, and that if they mess up, then they're proving that the stereotype is correct, that women aren't suited for the STEM field. And women are also expected to behave in a feminine way, and in a masculine way. Women need to walk a fine line at work in order for them to be, women need to walk a fine line at work because they need to voice their opinion so they can be heard. But if they are too assertive, then they are called a bitch or rude. But if men are assertive or competitive, then they are known as driven and passionate. There's this double standard in the industry for males and females. The STEM field is also sort of like a patriarchy where men hold all the power and women are thought of as less than, since we are often told that we can't do what men can do. It's like being sent back to the old days where women are taught that they are inferior to men and that our brains are weaker and dumber. And girls are often told stuff like, that's not for females, or you can't do that because you're a girl. Or my absolute favorite, you are just not smart enough for this. Sometimes men would also try to mansplain to me about a topic because they think they know better. So, like I said before, I'm not trying to say that I know everything, but I just don't like to be talked down to, which isn't that hard considering everybody is taller than me. But still, this patriarchal standing is why women are constantly thought of as inferior to men. Men also hate to see women succeed. Here's a tweet sent out by the Stanford Plastic Surgery Department about match day. What do you see? Well, I see a bunch of people who work their butts off to get to where they are and match to an amazing surgery program. But the misogynistic males on Twitter don't agree. They say stuff like how these women were diversity hires and how they were hired to meet the quota. No wonder women don't want to go into the STEM field because they'll just get told that they don't belong there and that they were hired or accepted into a school to make the school more diverse. Don't get me wrong, some companies do hire women to make sure that their company is inclusive, but that isn't often the case here. Also, since the STEM field is so male-dominated, males also often make more than females do. And when one woman goes into a job interview, they're often asked, how do you feel about working with males, since the company is usually male-dominated. And I have this friend who is currently working at a tech company. This is not the company, by the way, but I think it fit the picture. She is an industrial engineer. They hired her to make the operation work at its maximum efficiency, but they also hired this mechanical engineer at the same time. She needed to start immediately because they needed her to get started, but then the male mechanical engineer, since it's a company full of mechanical engineers, could wait to start. Who do you think got paid more? The male mechanical engineer, in which they have a plethora of, or the female industrial engineer, the first of her kind? Raise your hand if you think it's the male. Now raise your hand if you think it's the female. Yep, if you guessed males, you would be correct. No wonder only 24% of the women who major in the engineering field go into the engineering field. The annual salary for men is higher than that of women, with $85,000 compared to $60,828. Men make $15,000 more than women do per year. See, I can do math. There is a myth that women can't do math and that men are better at it than women, but this is simply not true. Women are equally as talented as men in math, but they just believe that they don't know as much. Due to this, women are discouraged from entering the STEM field since the STEM field is very math-oriented. Instead, they're pushed towards the humanities. And some people, especially in the past, believe that women are more sorted towards nurturing and caregiving roles, which is why some STEM companies might not hire or promote women. This makes it hard for women to thrive and advance in the STEM field. Due to this, women are often underrepresented in the STEM field, which leads to a lack of female role models for young and aspiring girls. When young girls don't see people who look like them thriving and succeeding in a STEM career, they might feel less encouraged to pursue those paths. Representation matters. Just like how Taylor Swift womansplains to men how to apologize to women with songs like How You Get the Girl and Betty, I am going to womansplain how to challenge these biases and stereotypes in order to incite change so that women and men can be seen as equals in STEM. We can challenge these stereotypes by promoting and celebrating achievements of women in STEM and improving STEM education, exposing young girls to female role models in STEM, addressing hiring biases, and creating a network of support for women currently in the STEM field. And it is essential to recognize that these stereotypes and biases are deeply ingrained in society and will be difficult to overcome. But as a group, we can achieve gender parity in STEM. So we must make an effort to challenge and question the existing norms and biases that stop the progression of women, to incite change so we can usher in an innovative future for all. Together, let us empower women in STEM and create a world where everyone can thrive regardless of genders. Us girls are here to fight, here to stay, and here to win. We are not just going to wave the males by because they have dominated the STEM industry for centuries. Anyways, fuck the patriarchy. Thank you.